Hi, my name is Caitlyn Black, and I'm a junior majoring in culinary science with a minor in meat science, and today I'm going to be making pumpkin muffins. The ingredients for this recipe include 1 egg, 3/4 of a cup of milk, 1/2 of a cup of vegetable oil, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2/3 of a cup of pureed pumpkin, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, plus extra to sprinkle on the top of the muffins, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of allspice, ground allspice, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and 2/3 of a cup of chopped nuts. First step in making our pumpkin muffins is to break our egg into our batter. We want to do this into a separate container because we don't want to have any blood splash or any deformations in our egg. So we're going to crack it into a different container. And this egg looks really good, so we can go ahead and add it into our bowl. Next we will add our 3/4 of a cup of milk and our 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And I'm going to beat this egg and milk oil mixture with a fork just until the egg's incorporated and it's almost a homogeneous mixture. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to add the remaining of our ingredients except for the chopped nuts. So we're going to add our 2 cups of flour, our 2/3 of a cup of pumpkin puree, our 1/3 of a cup of sugar, our tablespoon of baking powder, our teaspoon of salt, our teaspoon of ground allspice, and our 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And I'm going to mix this together with a fork. You just want to mix it until it's all incorporated. It's okay if it has a little bit of lumps, but you don't want to have pockets of big pockets of pumpkin. So in our batter we have 5 different components, and those 5 components are tenderizers, tougheners, moisteners, dryers, and leaveners. Our tenderizers in this ingredient list are our sugar, our oil, and our egg yolk, because they allow us to shorten the gluten strands and make a lighter, easier to eat product. Our tougheners include our milk, eggs, and egg whites because they all include protein, and that gives structure to our batter and allows for aeration and body. Moisteners include milk and eggs because they are necessary for gluten formation and starch gelatinization. There are dryers in this ingredient, and they include our flour and the cornstarch, which was in our baking powder, and they absorb moisture and give body to the cake. The leavener in this recipe is the baking powder, and in this case it was a double-acting baking powder, which means that it will react once when mixed and once when heated and baked. So the baking soda was mixed with a crystallized acid form. In storage, it was separated by cornstarch so that there was no reaction happening before you wanted it to. When you add the baking powder into a liquid, such as this batter, the reaction will begin to take place and CO2 bubbles will form, creating aeration and body to your cake or muffin. So now we're going to chop our nuts. We have 2/3 of a cup of pecans here. We're going to take our knife and our small cutting board And just give a rough chop to these nuts. We have pecans. Alright. Now we're just going to add those into our recipe and fold those in. Our pumpkin muffins are almost ready to go into the oven, and our last step is to place them into our tins. I've already lined our tins with our paper. I'm just going to give a quick spray of Crisco. And spoon our mixture into the muffin tins, about 2/3 of the way full. Once the muffin tins are full, it's optional to sprinkle the tops of the muffins with a little bit of granulated sugar. And then you will place the muffins into a 400-degree preheated oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, preheated oven for 20 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center of the muffin comes out clean. I hope you enjoy this pumpkin recipe. It's easy and it's a great fall favorite of the Black family. Thanks!